Hey, friends, welcome to Heal to Go. I am LaCountess Ingram, and I am so excited and so grateful to be here. Did you miss me? I know the last 2 weeks I haven't been able to go live. We were experiencing some technical difficulties, but by the grace of God, we figured it out. And it's so good to be back on the scene again. So you're viewing this today, and it is a pre-recorded session. I got some extra tools under my belt. I'm just really excited about everything God is doing in this season in my life and your life. And whenever I'm excited, I love to share. There's power in sharing, and actually, we're here because we're relational people, and we're meant to share what we glean, right? So I'm very excited about the guest that I have coming on. I'm going to introduce him in just a few minutes. I know you're going to be blessed by today's session. But before I introduce him and bring him in, there are just some exciting updates here at Heal to Go that I wanted to share. The first is that we now have a physical location. I'm very excited about that. I will be, yes, still doing a lot of things virtually, but now I have the opportunity and the capability of seeing my clients in an office space. And we are located in Elkins Park, 7401 Elkins Park. It's just a really beautiful space, and I'm very excited. So stay tuned. I'll be having an open house soon and sending out invites to all of my different ones, just for you to come stop by and see what's going on there. The other thing is that Heal to Go will be starting a four-part series. We have the opportunity to go to the Chartered Arms in Warminster, PA, where we're going to be doing a 4 sessions on the frequency of love. It's an elderly community that's there that has afforded us the opportunity to come in and talk about the frequency of love. And I'm very excited about sharing the message that God has given me to all people, regardless of age, regardless of race, regardless of background. I know that God has me here for this particular season in his space and time to share the liberating word of God. The other thing I wanted to share is that the Climb program will be coming out later this month. Stay tuned. I'm working on the final details of it, and I'll have the dates ready for you. But I am very, very excited about that. I'm excited about, like I said, everything that is happening at Heal to Go. So today's segment, I'm just so excited about extending this invitation to this brother that I've had the opportunity. We sit in on the same enrichment class every Sunday. And even when I was journeying through or changing and modifying the way I eat and the way I move, he was very instrumental in helping me to see, not dieting, but managing my lifestyle of eating well and moving well. He was very instrumental in helping me through that. And I thought it would just be so wonderful to invite him on Heal to Go and just let him go, because he is a wealth of knowledge. His wisdom is like none other. His name is Victor Freeman, and he's known as Mr. Mindful Minute. He is an accountability specialist, and he helps the world, people everywhere, on how to overcome mental and emotional roadblocks to become more effective in their personal and professional lives. He is a jewel to the body of Christ. I always enjoy the robust conversations that we have in our enrichment class, and he always sheds a wonderful light. And so today I'm going to have him on, and we're going to talk about the power in affirmations. He brings a whole wonderful enlightenment to it that I felt necessary to share. So I'm going to bring Victor in right now. Good afternoon. morning, wherever you're viewing. How are you today?
Great. Can you hear me good?
I can hear you. There's still a little feedback, but I'm just hold on for a second. Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, when I is when I hear. But what I'll do, if perhaps maybe you can mute yourself, and then when you get ready to talk, unmute yourself. So I wanted to first thank you for coming on. Thank you for your patience as I am navigating through, my technological nerds. You're amazing. Thank you for your patience. And I just am grateful for you coming on. Affirmations are very popular, and we see people talking about them, and different ones going forth and telling you what you need to say and do. But I really just appreciate your spin that I saw on your platform, Mr. Mindful Minute, on your YouTube channel, and I wanted to bring you on to have you just talk about it. And I know I personally have affirmations like that I'm an outrageously bold, joyful, and free woman, that I'm enough, that I'm healthy and fit. I have some affirmations that are in accordance to the word of God. And then there are just others that I have, just because I want to be a better me. So I want you to speak to that. And again, thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for this opportunity. I definitely appreciate it. I will just say, just like really getting right into it, right? The world as a whole has started taking on the ideas of affirmations, but not really understanding the power in affirmations, and not just the power in it, but how to actually use them properly. And so from my research and me learning it and then developing it myself, I actually came up with a technique that I call, and it's so crazy because I pay a lot of attention to how God talked to me in my own way. And it came to me and it was just like 777. And I'm like, wait, what? And I'm big on numerical numbers and things like that. And so my technique is called the 777 method. And what is the 777 method? It is a proven technique that I have used with my clients that is actually the foundation to my coaching program. And what the 777 method is you say 7 affirmations for the next 7 days, 7 times a day. And automatically, we have to remember that in order for us to change anything, we have to create a habit. Well, we know that the scriptures use the number 7 as a sign of completion. So that's one of the reasons why I'm like, okay, that came to me as in completion. So I'm like, okay, we got to have 7 affirmations that is going to be a sign of completion for us. So the reason that you have to now say it 7 times a day, because we have to reset our brain sometimes. Because when you're trying to change a habit or you're trying to change how you feel, you actually have to reset the brain. Because the reason it is difficult for us to actually change habits is because a Canadian neurosurgeon did a study, and the same brain chemistry that go off in your mind when you're trying to change a habit is the same brain chemistry that go off in your mind when you're being physically tortured. And so if you think about that for a second, it's like, wait, my brain doesn't know the difference between I'm just trying to change a habit versus I'm being physically tortured. No, it doesn't. The brain and the subconscious, it doesn't live how we actually live within the physical realm, because the subconscious can go into imagination realm, right? So that is why when we're sleeping, we can be dreaming about using the toilet, and guess what? We actually start using the toilet, right? And then we like, wait, what happened? I thought, but that's because the brain doesn't know the difference between conscious reality in physical reality sometimes. So the reason that we now have to actually kind of like reprogram our brains. And so when we start saying 7 affirmations, now that's the reason why you have to say it 7 times a day, right? For the next 7 days, because you're now changing certain habits within your brain. Understand, it's about how, not only affirmations is not about what you want. That's a part of it, but it's also how you want to feel. So we understand now in our society, we're paying more and more attention to mental health. And, you know, I'm a person that has become a very big advocate for mental awareness and mental health, especially because for myself, I deal with depression, I deal with PTSD, right? And I had to find ways that worked for me. And it has nothing to do with not believing in God, because yes, I rely on God, I pray and things like that, but sometimes there's other things that God allows us to do, you know, to help us, right? We can't just say, "Oh God, I want a great paying job," but we don't never actually go and put in no applications.
Right. You know, that's powerful.
So it's work that we have to also do. And if we look at the scriptures and understand, God always used people to help people. Yes, he talked to certain people through dreams and visions and things like that, but majority of the time he's using people to help people. And if we pay close attention to the scriptures, even, we'll understand that sometimes he even used non-spiritual people to help his spiritual people. So when we look at it from that standpoint, you know, it's like, oh, okay, how can I be used? How can I not only see the use of myself helping somebody else, but how could God be using somebody else to help me? So it made me actually start understanding, you know, affirmations. And so when we think about it, affirmations is biblical as well, right? The reason that it's biblical is because most of us has heard or heard somebody say, "Oh, life and death is in the power of the tongue." You know, as it's on the screen right now, Proverbs 18:21. We hear that all the time, but we don't never necessarily think about that meaning how we talk to ourselves. We usually use that in the reference of how we speaking to somebody else, but that's how we speak to ourselves. And I always say, well, the rest of the world is just a mirror reflection of you talking to yourself. So what I say to other people is really just what I'm saying to myself. So how can I be upbuilding and positive to someone else and encourage them and say it's going to be okay, you know, you're loved and you're worthy and you're amazing and you're great. I can say that to somebody else, but when the last time I said that to myself? When the last time? Because what we're doing now is we're recharging that person that we love. We see that their morale is low and we recharge them with our words, right? It's a form of comfort. Are we recharging ourselves that same way? We put our cell phones on a charger every single night, but do we recharge ourselves every single day? How do we do that? With the power of affirmations. So now we have to come up with specific affirmations for each category of our life. Now, I'm giving you everything that I have within my being and how I help my clients, right? Because I tell all my clients, no, saying certain affirmations, it may not even do anything for you. But you got to understand, you need affirmations for every single category of your life. You might be a great mom, but you may not be a great spouse. You might be a great spouse, but you may not be a great child, right? You might make money at your job, but you don't have a good outlook on yourself. So we need affirmations in every single category because now we'll be specific in the category that we need to work on. And so I understand that most of the time we are so focused on what we're good at. That's what our society focuses on. Oh, what we're good at, social media, what we're good at, it glorifies all the highlights. But what are you not doing? What are you not good at? What are you weak at? And this is the area that you need to have your affirmations for, because you're now telling yourself the opposite of what you are when you use my 777 technique. So if you're a person that has low self-esteem, low confidence, you don't think that you're worthy, you don't feel as though that you're amazing, what you're going to do is you're going to say, I'm amazing, I'm great, I'm worthy, people love me, I'm joyous. These are the type of things that you would say. Now, if a person just said that, you're like, well, I don't really feel that. I don't feel that way. Okay, that's cool. We only touched on the surface of it. Now we're going to the next level. You said what's opposite of how you feel, because remember what I said, affirmations is not just about getting what you want, but it's also changing how you feel. So now, how do you speak to it? How do you speak to yourself? How do you speak to your body of water? We're about to now get into some scientific facts. If you've ever looked at water and somebody start playing high frequency music next to water, the water starts to dance. The molecular structure starts to change and shift in the water based upon the frequency or the tonality of what is actually being said, or the vibrations. So our body, here's the science, our body is made up of what? 80 to 70 to 90% water. Your whole body, your brain is over 60% water. Your organs is over 70% water. Your skin is like 80% water. So you have a body of water that you need to speak to. How do you speak to your body of water? Do you just say it like, oh, I kind of believe it, but I don't kind of believe it? But we got to remember, the scripture says an indecisive man should not ask for anything. So when we're talking to ourselves, we need to actually say it in a certain frequency, in a certain tonality. And I'm about to show y'all how to do it right now, right? I'm kind of getting goosebumps right now. And if you kind of can see my arm, I'm getting goosebumps right now because of how I'm about to say it. I am amazing. I am great. I am powerful. People do love me. See, when you say it in that tonality, you speak into your water in a certain way that you have no choice but to change the frequency and the tonality of how you actually feel within your body. So now you did that. Your brain is going to start believing what you're saying to it, because you're shifting the frequency of the brain, right? Now, here's the last part. The last part this is my secret sauce right here. This is my secret sauce. This is what nobody is teaching people. Like, everybody say you need to tell you what to do, but they don't show you how to do it. So now the last part is, when you saying affirmations, because you want to change how you feel, you actually need to connect with yourself. How do you connect with yourself? You touch yourself. A lot of my clients, they do the prayer hands. They hold their hands like this. Some of them hold the back of their neck, because you might need to do this when you're out in public. You got to do whatever comfortable for you. Some of them, they touch their arm, they hold their wrist, right? Myself, personally, I like to hold my wrist, right? Because it's very discreet, and it's just what I'm doing. And so now, when I say my affirmations, I'm gonna do it again. I am amazing. I am great. People do love me. I am loved. I am appreciated. I do forgive myself. See, when I say it now in this tonality, and I'm speaking to myself and I'm connecting to myself, what happens is something amazing. When I release my hand and I'm not even feeling the way I want to feel, I think about how the affirmations made me feel. And even when I'm not even touching myself, just because I thought about the affirmations, I just changed how I felt, because I connected with myself. And that is how we see the power in affirmations. So when we think about it, there are so many affirmations in the scriptures alone, right? We think about Exodus 3:14. That is an affirmation that God said to Moses when he said, I am what I am is what you tell the people. See, I am is an indefinite thing. It is no doubt in that. It is confirmed. You don't have to question it. When we talk to our children and they say, am I going to eat tonight? Yes, you are going to eat. It is a guarantee. When we say certain things, we got to understand that there is no doubt in it. It is a confirmation. And so when God said that I am. That was the confirmation. I am. So even when we're saying certain affirmations to ourselves, we have to say it to ourselves a certain way because it is now becoming a confirmation to ourselves. This is how we become our own accountability partner. It is great to have another person that you can go to hold you accountable. That is great. It is nothing wrong with that. But do you know how to hold yourself accountable? Do you know how to become your own accountability partner? Well, connecting with yourself, saying the affirmations, doing the 777 technique, it helps you become your own accountability partner, which is necessary because you now become the jump box for yourself. You recharge yourself whenever your morale is low, whenever you feel as though I don't feel like it. You know, how many times have a person tried to work out and they just not feeling it? It is not just because your body not feeling it. Mentally, you're not feeling it. There is something in your brain that is called dopamine. And dopamine is released when you're doing something that makes you feel good. And so what happens is, if you're not the type of person that already feels good from working out, the dopamine is not going to release in the brain because it's like, I don't really like doing this anyway. I'm just doing this because I have to. So we do the affirmations, we connect with ourselves, and we force the brain to release the dopamine in order for us to find enjoyment out of it. See, what we have to understand is life is not about us doing always what we want and doing what we enjoy. Life is about doing what is necessary, because sometimes doing what you enjoy and doing what you like does not make your life better. But doing what's necessary will always make your life better. So I heard a quote once from a guy named Sadhguru where he said, you know, some people, they do what they like and they find some enjoyment in it. That's the lowest level of it. He said, then there are some people who do things that they feel as though that they have to do, and then they feel a sense of gratification because they did what they had to do. He said, but then there's another level of people who do what's necessary and find enjoyment in doing what's necessary. And so once we start finding the enjoyment in doing things that's necessary, even though we may not want to, that is what helps us to become more efficient and more effective in our life, because that is the purpose. A person that is getting a lot done, they're very productive, but they're not efficient. They will lose a lot of energy very fast. Because you're getting things done. I'm moving, but don't confuse productivity with efficiency. Because if we look at the GPS system, when you pull up your GPS system on Google now or Siri now, it'll actually give you more than one way to go. It'll say this way is 30 minutes, but then it'll also say this way is 30 minutes, but it'll have a little leaf next to it, which is saying this is a more energy efficient way to go. It's going to take you the same amount of time, but the other way is going to cost you more gas. This way, you're going to actually save gas and get there in the same amount of time. So
this is so amazing. Let me jump in for 1 second. Yep. You said so much.
Yep.
Affirmation. If you could, so just for 1 second, when you said I am, it made me think about the gospel when they were in the Garden of Gethsemane, and they asked Jesus, are you Jesus? And he said, I am. One of the gospels record that the power of him saying I am actually knocked the soldiers off their feet. It caused them to stumble backwards. And so, that power of life and death in the tongue, yes, we're always admonished to watch what we say to others and to make sure we're speaking life to others. But to speak life to yourself and to, how you broke that down, to hold yourself, whether we're praying or, we're doing the praying hands or we're touching ourselves. That is so powerful. I really appreciate you for sharing that, because it is. And this past week, I've been talking to, just praying like, Lord, I know I don't feel like doing this. Like, I'm a full-time caregiver for my mother, and there are days when I don't feel like getting up out of my bed, and taking care of anybody. I just want to lay there. But doing what is necessary makes life better. And it's true, even though I don't always feel like it. For me, it's about obedience and doing what he's asked me to do, because I really do believe that this at this point in my life, this is what the Lord wants me to do with it, and that's to care for my mom and to find the enjoyment in doing that. And how affirmations, can push me and thrust me into caring in a much better way, caring for my mom in a much better and efficient way. Oh my God, I'm so excited about that. Thank you. Oh my goodness. And then I told you I do have my affirmations, but to have them for each category of my life, that is something else. Because look, you may be wealthy and have money, but if you're not being a wise steward over that money and you don't have affirmations to speak, that you could be squandering that money. That is so phenomenal. And then with parenting, you could be a good parent, but you could be a horrible spouse. And having the affirmations, I like how you said, having affirmations that speak to the weaknesses. That's powerful. I'm going to mute so you can come back on, but thank you so much. Go forward.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I just realized that, like I said, I don't take credit for this. I say that this is divine. Like, I didn't come up with the ideas for this. It just came to me, and it constantly comes to me. So I don't take no credit. I give all praise to Yahweh. I humbly, give this to the world. Yes, I have clients. Yes, I have a coaching program and stuff like that. But, I'm always willing to help, right? Because what the scriptures say, receive free, give free, right? So I don't mind giving it for free, right? But I also know that in order for me to help somebody specifically get to the results that they want, because I am a certified life coach, we have to work together individually, because I don't have a cookie cutout system. I have specific questions that I ask each individual. Yeah, it's the same outline program, but the questions that I ask each person in that specific area, it's not going to look the same with somebody else. And so now I'm going to help that person understand not only themselves, but also how they adjust, right? Because I have people take a personality assessment. I partnered with the number one motivational speaker in the world, Eric Thomas, and getting certified through him. And he has what's called a flight assessment. And when people work with me, we go over the assessment. They see what their personality styles is, which is cool. You see how you are naturally. I'm not going to woo you by showing you how you are naturally. I'm about to show you how you are when you adapted in different environments, and how you handle problems, and how people see you, and you don't even realize that this is what you're doing because you're being adaptive. And what we don't understand is, when we're in our adaptive nature too long, it starts to not only burn us out, but it also gives people a perception of who they think we are and how we actually are. So if I'm the type of person that I'm giving people the perceived idea that I'm very, very social because I like people's experience with me. Well, and I'm real talkative and I'm real this and I got a lot of energy. Well, that's how I can be. but that's not how I like to be. And so now the perception that people will have when they always see me is, if I'm not being bubbly and exciting, they're going to say, what's wrong with you? And in my mind, I'm thinking, it's nothing wrong with me. This is how I am. But then I have to see the world from their perception versus what reality is. And so now I have to self-reflect and make sure that I'm not in my adaptive nature too long, because now I'm going to create a reality for somebody else that I may not be able to maintain, and it is going to burn me out. So I teach people to be in their natural role all the time and know how to get into their adaptive when they need to adjust. And then the beautiful thing about the assessment is the assessment already has different categories of how we handle things, as a flight attendant, which is somebody that has a got to get it done mentality, a stewardess, a pilot, which is a got to go get it done. A flight attendant is a experience. You get on a plane and they're like, do you need this? Do you need that? And then you have the grounds crew, somebody that is structured. They like things to be organized and punctual. And then you have the air traffic controller, who's somebody who's very, very, they're heavy thinkers. And they think about everything so much. They don't mind taking risks like the pilot, but they take calculated risk. See, the pilot like to take risk and he just go. And he might get things done, but there also could be possibilities of things not to get done. See, the pilot can't take off without the air traffic controller seeing how all these other planes are going to take off before him, so they don't collide. So you need everybody falls into each category differently, but there are some categories that you're high in and there's some categories that you're low in. And I'm not telling anybody that it's wrong to be in a low category or to adjust. I'm not trying to get you to adjust. I'm trying to get you to see where you are so you can be how you naturally are more, and then find someone that is going to help you, where you're not. And then y'all now come together in whatever professional or personal environment. And then now we're all good, because it's nothing like you have a person at a job. Yeah, they may meet the credentials and they know how to do the job, but their personality style is not fit for the position that they're actually doing. So you may have a manager at a job. Yeah, he knows the job. He used to do the job, but his personality style, he don't know how to talk to people. So he's actually not fit for that position based upon his personality. So you would need to find someone who knows how to not only do the job, but also knows how to communicate to people. And again, how to be more efficient and not just looking for productivity. So this is how we actually use the power and affirmations to not only become our own accountability partner, but be more proficient and more effective in our professional and personal lives.
Wow, that's awesome. That is so phenomenal. I can't even thank you enough just for the enlightenment that I've gotten just for the 30 some odd minutes that we've been on. And I just wanted to let the audience know that they can follow you on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You have a YouTube channel under the handle Mr. Mindful Minute, right?
Podcast, yep.
And oh, yes, thank you. And he has a podcast, y'all, Mr. Mindful Minute. This wisdom that he's dropping, this knowledge that he's dropping, you can tune in and you can hear him on a regular basis. I also wanted to show your information here. If you want to reach out to Mr. Mindful Minute, you can reach him at mindfulminute.gobgr8 at gmail.com. And then you can call him at area code 484-380-5763. Wow. Victor, I just want to thank you for coming on this platform today. Thank you for gracing us with your wisdom. And I know this is a divine kingdom connection. And I look forward. I definitely want to have you back on again, where we can work together and we can just help people go forward and be their best and greatest selves. Because, we're all a purpose named, you're named Victor, I'm the Countess. And, our journey and what we've gone through and what we're learning is not meant for us to hold on to it. It's meant for us to grow through it and then share it and empower others to become. So again, I just give God all glory for us coming together, and thank you for being here on this platform. Thank you for how you even show the simplicity of, one of the things I like to do is show how the word is applicable to everyday life. It really is here to help propel us, and live out and be our best selves. So thank you again for that. Friends, we are healed to go. We are healed to be all that God has created us to be. And we are here every Monday at 9 a.m. And we want you to drop in, get the tools that you need, and then go forth and be the authentic, beautiful individuals that you've been called to be. So until we meet again, I want you to be encouraged. I want you to be strengthened. And I want you to boldly go. Thank you again, Victor, for being a part today. And have a blessed week.
Thank you.